Please welcome Luyanda Hlatshwayo from the African Recycling Organization.
Good day, everyone. My name is Luyanda Hlatshwayo. Can we just start with a quick video? I think my plan today is just to give a true reflection of who and what we do. A normal day of a reclaimer would start at 3:30, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So for me to travel from where I live to where the bins are coming out needs time, security. So 3 o'clock in the morning, there's no one driving around. I can travel at 90 kilometers per hour with my trolley and get there very quickly. Yeah, no brakes, so 100% adrenaline. Some of the challenges really is having to go through this. You've got your pap, you've got your chakalaka biryani from Sunday and plastic. I have to go through that to get that plastic out. There's a lot of things that we don't want to see, and you let us see that. You fought with your wife yesterday, and your wife threw a ring inside because she's tired. Hey, I found it. You throw things that I'm not supposed to see. I only want to see the plastic that's making value for me. Unfortunately, the education in South Africa has not been spread around on how do we actually to start separating our materials from the household. So for me to fill a bag that much, I have to go through everyone's waste. From the kitchen, toilet, everything, you put everything down. And we end up wearing balaclavas. Not that I'm a criminal, not that I don't want to be seen, but your waste actually stinks. That is why we wear balaclavas. My name is Luyanda Hlatshwayo, as I've said before. I'm a member and founder of the African Reclaimers Organization. We formed ourselves because we needed to be recognized. I think when we started, I had the privilege of meeting Dr. Linda Godfrey, who made it clear to us that reclaimers in South Africa collect 80 to 90% of post-consumer packaging. That, for me, made it clear that I'm playing a huge role. I'm collecting 80% of the plastic that's supposed to be going to landfill. First one, we collect recyclables that have value or are reusable. So I don't collect anything that doesn't have value. So if we want to make sure that the waste that we are producing, the waste that is helping us, the plastic that is being packaged, if we don't want it to go to landfill, let's start creating something that does have value. It will definitely not go to landfill. There's about 5,000 to 6,000 reclaimers in the city of Johannesburg alone. An average reclaimer collects about 150 kilograms of weight. Multiply that by 5,000 reclaimers. That's a lot of tonnages that are being moved out on a daily basis. I call myself an everyday environmental agent, because I don't come on Arbor Day and plant a tree or clean the river once a year. I do it every day, and approximately of 18 hours a day. And talking about evidence-based, the evidence needs to be there. There is evidence. It's just that the whole of society needs to take out their balaclavas and see the true value of the reclaimers. The reason why we're not being integrated is because we're not being recognized. Now, when I come and collect this was collected yesterday by me, and I didn't sort it intentionally to make sure if there's any chakalaka left over, we can all smell it here. When do we collect the waste? Waste is generated every day, everywhere, every second. So I need to be working every day for me to be able to earn a living. We collect tons of recyclables a day. The plastic that we see, that gentleman is sitting on that right there, that is rent money for him for the next month. So there is value in plastic, and we have found it. I've been sustaining my family for the past 12 years with a trolley. And I've been paying rent, I've been taking my daughter to school, and it's a sustainable job. But it makes it very difficult when I have to find pap and chakalaka in your bin. So we started organizing ourselves and said, we need to start teaching people. We need to start educating people. So we said we had to be educated first. And having a platform where reclaimers come and speak amongst themselves was firstly the most important thing for us to be organized before we had to start coming and educating the rest of society about who and what we do. We had to start recognizing ourselves first. The law of averages, every door, every store, every floor, every street, every bin, every landfill, that's where we are, because that's where the value is. Now, depriving reclaimers with plastic is like depriving fish with water. Because now if you've got gated communities and there's contractors that are being paid a certain fee to come and collect recyclables, I'm out of work. In 2017, the separation of source program was very good. The only problem is that it had a negative impact on thousands of reclaimers who could not have access to areas that have been given contracts. We had close to 6,000 reclaimers losing their livelihoods because there's a private company that took over all the plastic. And it forced us to organize. And today, reclaimers in the city of Johannesburg are so organized, they're starting to take over areas where you'd normally find contractors. Because now we're coming in and we're educating. This is HD, this is plastic. You don't add this with that. Something that has not been done in South Africa. We have not been taught from a childhood that this is plastic, don't dispose this like that. So the African Reclaimers Organization have started to say, let us, the reclaimers, on my street where I collect, let me start educating. It started from the streets, it moved to suburbs. Now we have a membership of 7,000 reclaimers in the city of Johannesburg. We've grown to Cape Town, we're going to Buffalo City. It's having an organic growth. Thousands of people are feeding their families. How do we work? There's two different ways. There's the curbside collection where I wake up in the morning, Mama Khali, I would like to take you for a trip down to Rosebank, 90 kilometers per hour, and show everyone how we actually save the environment. Now there's two models. I come to your bin, I collect everything, I travel back home, I sort everything, and I go sell. Then there's a model where I'm not allowed access to your neighborhood. I can't collect there. What happens? All that rubbish, all that plastic goes into the truck and it goes to the landfill, where my friends, I call them the last line of defense. That's in the landfill. We've missed it on the streets, and the last line of defense will make it a point that they catch it at the landfill. That's, for us, a working process. With the landfills slowly shutting down, we had to find alternatives of how do we actually continue collecting these plastics. We started having engagements with industries and saying, we're collecting your waste. How do you find ways of supporting us? How do you find ways of helping us to collect your waste? Safrapo is one of our friends who've actually helped us in finding solutions of how we can actually sustain the livelihoods of reclaimers and make sustainable solutions. We have a curbside collection program where we have reclaimers integrating into communities that would normally be gated and have no access for reclaimers to come in. With the resources of a single truck, a reclaimer that would normally collect 150 kilograms of waste now can be able to collect a ton a day, saving them a lot of time when traveling, saving them a lot of time on their energy, pulling a trolley. It's not easy. And maximizing on the profits that they are making. So a person would normally make 1,500 rand on a fortnight, can now starting to make 1,500 rand on a daily basis. We need evidence-based. So we need academics, we need industries to come into this informal sector that is doing so well. If we really want to know how much plastic is being moved out, how about we come and integrate into this proper working system that has been running for over 20 years, and we can actually start finding those stats. The stigma of waste and the stigma of reclaimers. Unfortunately, the simplest way for a drug addict in Johannesburg to smoke is to collect 40 of these. Then he can smoke. Drugs is not a reclaimer problem. You'll find drugs at the police station, maybe in parliament, there's also smokers. It's a, it's a problem that we all have. Unfortunately, it has been stigmatized with waste. The lack of recognition has proven to sideline reclaimers where municipal officials would make decisions that have unintended consequences. We need education. They are making the right decisions. They're not engaging with the people on the ground that are actually doing the actual work. We need proper engagements for us to be able to increase it from 80% to 100%. Now, this 80% is being done with an informal system. No diesel, no admin, there's no cost. I'm subsidizing your community. I'm subsidizing Pick It Up in Johannesburg. I'm subsidizing the environment. I'm subsidizing everyone, and I'm not being recognized. Unequal levels of engagement. We have found that industries engage with us if there's a need to, not when there's a need to make decisions going forward. A lot of people have a perception that, yes, we do collect plastic, it comes to the buyback center. No one knows the processes that it goes through before it actually gets there. There's an 18-hour process that happens for us to be able to take it to the buyback center. Solutions. Reclaimers have sat down and find ways of how do we actually maximize on the work that we're doing. With proper support, we are able to start programs of how we can start advising communities, municipalities. Hopefully, Mama Khale, I can advise you also on how we can start enrolling some of these programs that we're looking like the EPR. How do you pay reclaimers a service fee if you don't know who and what they are? We're already doing it in Brixton and Auckland Park. We know the number of reclaimers that are coming to collect. We know each and every tonnage that they're collecting, and we know the frequency of them. We know exactly the amount of tonnages that are coming out in Brixton and Auckland Park for the past 3 years. We need proper engagements for us to be able to make a difference. In Bodo South, we partnered with the Residents Association, and we've been having proper administrated collections where reclaimers and residents are collectively working together. It's been running for 3 years, and it's going on strongly. We found areas in Coulsworld where there's no separation at source programs, period. And we started engaging with residents and integrating reclaimers into areas like that. And we've got tonnages coming out. In Duxbury, we have residents that fully understand the importance of integrating reclaimers, that they started paying a service fee to reclaimers for coming and collecting the materials that has been collected. So we are already doing it. Maybe it's about time society integrates into the system that is self-sustaining, that really doesn't need any diesel or admin, and we need to work on making the point that we master it and we support the people that are actually doing the collections. Meaningful collaborations. We started a pilot with CSIR on finding ways of knowing who and where are the reclaimers, how much are they collecting. And it's been going very well. And we are very overwhelmed by the support and the trust that's coming in from government and saying, let's see what we can do. Let's pilot programs that can be able to make a difference. Solutions, access to resources. We only have one truck right now. It's a 4-ton truck. It's assisting close to 50 reclaimers on a weekly basis. There's elderly women that can't pull trolleys for more than 20 kilometers an hour, 20 kilometers a day. And this truck is able to collect materials in these areas and hand them over to these ladies, and they can be able to sort and be able to earn a living for themselves. There's reclaimers that travel all the way to Roodepoort from Johannesburg and come back after 2 days when they're collecting materials. This truck helps them to collect 2-3 bags and come back home much earlier. So there are solutions. There are solutions if we do make collaborations, if we do have meaningful engagements, not a nice engagement over a table and envelopes coming under the table. We need proper collaborations. What is your role in your space, in your office, on your table right now? What is your role? The role of everyone is to start listening. We believe in what we call an inclusive circular economy. If the reclaimer, the retailer, government, municipality, the resident, if everyone had to put a hand, if everyone played their part, definitely we can be able to make it. We are doing it. We have a program that we started in Newtown, and it's rolling out in other communities, where reclaimers are starting to collect reusable materials, reusable books, reusable toys. We've got a creche that's already started in Newtown where no money was spent. Everything was collected from the bins that people dispose. The books that are being disposed from schools are being redirected and being put in ECD trainings that children that don't have access to education are being used. So there's a lot of potential from the plastic and the waste that we're throwing. We just need to find ways of making collaborations that actually would be sustainable. Reclaimers don't want your money. Reclaimers want access to materials. I've been able to sustain my family for 12 years through plastic. How do you support us? Infrastructure. There's a lot of infrastructure in South Africa that is not being used. If you can just dedicate a small space in the city of Johannesburg for reclaimers to centralize their materials, then you're not going to see reclaimers in the middle of the Yaske River sorting materials. We don't have sorting spaces. Where do you expect all these materials? Who's hosting it? Who's keeping these materials for you before it gets to the buyback center? During level 5 of COVID, there were no buyback centers that were opened. We had to start storing these materials. Where are we storing them? We're storing them in rundown buildings where no one can see. We're storing them in parks outside your house. It's a nonsense, I know, but where should we store them? We need proper infrastructure for us to be able to administrate that. The reason why other countries are doing that, because they're paying attention on the collection points. Where is it collected? How is it being stored? How does it get to the buyback center? Now you've got these people that work an 18-hour day. Some of them pay for security to be able to make it a point that your plastic is safe and makes it a point that doesn't go to landfill. So what can you do in your space? When we arrived this morning, we met a gentleman at the corner who was collecting recyclables that come from this building. And the plastic that you're seeing on your table right now, chances are he's going to come back again tomorrow and collect the very same thing, and the day after. And it's a reliable system. All that we need to do is find a way to support a proper working system. So here's a challenge to everyone. Let's start reducing the waste that we are producing. Let's start separating our materials. It takes an hour for us to fill in a bag if it's properly separated. But it would take me another 4 hours if I'm going to go through bins that are not separated. Thank you very much. We would really appreciate if everyone could be able to play a hand, assist reclaimers wherever they are. Outside your house, find out how you can assist. Find out how you can be able to help him to move the materials. Find out where he stores his materials. Find out why he comes in at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why does he make so much noise? So he can't actually find a better time because there's competition from the municipality with that big truck. That's why he's outside your house at 3 o'clock in the morning. Ideally, if it was up to us, we would love to work with all municipalities, work with all industries in making sure that it becomes much more easier for us to be able to collect your waste. But we can't do that. And I'm very grateful that Sapropol actually invited us to be here. It's the very big step into integrating us and recognizing us for the work that we are doing. And we really hope that it will be able to go forward and not just end here in Johannesburg, because reclaimers all around the country are finding alternatives to be able to feed their families. There's no jobs in South Africa. And for educated people who've spent time going to school, some of them are traveling from other countries looking for a better life, don't want to do crime, wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to fill these things, to feed their families. Thank you very much.